Hello, my name is Julia Toader, and today I'm going to talk about Meetup features. We will talk about OpenStack security. Okay, first of all, who we are and what we do. We are a cloud company from Timișoara. We have the headquarters. Our second office is in Iași, but we have people working in Bucharest, Cluj, and we want to extend to those cities as well. What is our aim and what motivates us to do what we do? We are very committed to cloud computing and interoperability. We are working with top companies in the industries, such as Microsoft, Red Hat, VMware. We're very proud of that. What we are doing, basically, we are trying to integrate Microsoft solution in open source cloud software. We are trying to bridge the gap between Microsoft technologies and open source. Okay. I'll go briefly through Meetup features. There were a lot of a huge demand for fiber channel. Now you are able to attach a fiber channel volume as a pass-through disks. It basically it's transparent to the guest, and it includes booting from fiber channel-based volumes. We were supporting, as you know, all types of migrations, but we didn't have support for Hyper-V cluster. Now you can migrate all your VMs. When something goes wrong, the instances will be migrated automatically to other nodes, which are considered healthy and continue working in a transparent mode. Remote effects. Basically, what it does, it virtualizes your GPU. It is shared across instances by adding virtual graphics devices. It's a huge improvement, especially for RDP and also applications which require GPU. Okay, PyMI. We focused a lot on this in this cycle on performance. We did a lot of rally testing, and we saw that there are a lot of things that can be improved regarding performance. What we did, basically, we replaced the old WMI Python module with another library for a better error handling, multi-threading support, and better performance. With our rally testing, we saw it is a huge difference regarding performance, especially from neutron point of view, port binding, and everything requiring networking. A feature which I consider very important, and I think it's missing somehow from OpenStack, it's security. So I'll talk more in depth about shielded VMs. What they do, they provide a secure context, so the users can control who can access those VMs, the data, and who can modify them. Okay. So shielded VMs. What is a shielded VM? It's basically a virtual machine that can run on guarded hosts. What is a guarded host? A guarded host is considered a host which is secure. It wasn't compromised in any way, and only that administrators or those administrators from that host can access and modify the VM data. Basically, it is checked to see that the VM is protected from tampering, theft, from malicious administrators, and host malware. I'll talk more in detail how this is done. It is based on a virtual TPM. which is new in Windows Server 2016. And the disks are encrypted with BitLocker. For now, it's supported only as the guest only for Windows Server 2016, but by this server release, it should be everything supported, including Linux. There are two modes of attestation: admin trusted attestation, which is based on an Active Directory. This is what I'll present today. TPM trusted attestation is basically based on hardware, on a physical TPM, and it's much difficult to get that hardware. Okay, how is this possible? This is possible with Host Guardian service. It's a Windows Server 2015 role. It basically provides two services. These services basically make the checking and the decryption of the disks possible. Attestation service ensures that only the hosts which are considered secure can open a VM and access its data. And the key protection service releases the keys in order to decrypt the disks which are encrypted. How it's done? There are hosts which are considered guarded. They are in an Active Directory group. How I said before, it's based on Active Directory. So all the hosts you considered secure and you want to run shielded VMs on them, you add them to a group in an Active Directory. That Active Directory group will be registered to the Host Guardian service in order to recognize the guarded host and do the check. It's essential that the Host Guardian service domain trust the Active Directory. Okay. Basically, when you have a shielded VM, and you want to start it, the attestation service will check the host, will see it is in the Active Directory group, which is considered secure and everything. Hyper-V has some hardware new feature implemented, which can actually check if that host, on that host is running a malware or data which shouldn't be there. Once it's attested that, okay, I know this host, it's okay, it's secure, the key protection service will send the keys in order to decrypt the disks of that VM. It's essential to know that that VM will be able to be accessed only on the host in that Active Directory group. If it's migrated or the VHDX, let's say, will be stolen and want to be used on another host, it won't be able. It will go to the same process and will always be checked by the Host Guardian service in order to see if it's okay or not. Okay? There are two profiles. A shielded VM basically has a virtual TPM, which has two options: encryption option and shielded option. The encryption option basically doesn't do nothing more besides encrypting these VM's disks and encrypt the VM state during live migration. Besides that, how you see here, everything is supported or can be configured. Regarding shielded VM, you can't access basically anything. You don't have a VM console, you don't have serial ports, you are able to access that VM only through an RDP certificate, which will be provided by the user when the VM it's done. Okay. The setup, how I said before, a host guardian service in order to check the Active Directory group hosts. And this is the setup. But actually, to provide a shielded VM, there are required two things. Signed disk template. Let's say you have VHDX, TT4, let's say, clean install. That VHDX will have to be signed with a certain certificate, how you see here in PowerShell. You create a certificate, and using that certificate, you protect that VHDX. Why is this done? In this way, the host guardian service can check the actual state of the VHDX when the VM is done the first time. It makes sure that the VHDX wasn't compromised during creating the VM. Okay, the PDK file, basically it's an encrypted file which contains every information about that VHDX security. So it will have administration credentials, we'll have an unattended file, which basically will run after the VM is created. Security policy. This one is the VTPM option to be specified if it's, the VM will be shielded or encrypted. The RDP certificate. In order to access a shielded VM, you can do that only using this RDP certificate, and this is the only way. The bottom signature catalog, VSC file, basically contains that signed disk template disk data, which verifies that the VHDX wasn't modified or attempted to modify something regarding its data. Okay. Here you specify the VSC file, unattended, RDP. What you see, it's you have also a guardian. Guardian basically represents the group of those nodes, hosts considered secure. So the PDK file is the key in order to check which host it's secure or not. Okay, how it's done in OpenStack? I said before, you will need the template and the PDK file. Upload the shielded template in Glance. To see if it's shielded or encrypted, you will pass as an image property. OS shielded VM will be a shielded VM. OS VTPM will be just a VTPM, which will encrypt the disks. Provide the PDK reference. The user will have the PDK file, but in order to be sure that the PDK isn't modified, it will be stored as a Barbican container, so it will be transmitted secure. That reference is passed as well as the image reference, as an image property, sorry, or as metadata during NOPA boot. You will have an unattended file. In that one, you can specify the VM name, time zone, edit to add the VM in an ADE, and everything. It can be as well configured. You can have substitution strings in that unattended, and it will be populated with metadata, which will be passed as meta during Nova boot. Let's take an example. So here we have the PDK file. Using PDK util is a tool you can install with pip install or git clone repo. It provides you a container reference, which, how I stated before, it can be passed as image property or Nova boot. So how you see during image creation, you have is essential to specify a secure boot. It's required to be shielded or encrypted, and of course the PDK reference. During Nova Boot, you can override that PDK reference. You create an image which you say, okay, you'll use this PDK file. You create a VM, but you want to use another PDK. So this is why meta is passed during Nova Boot. That PDK reference will override the one from the Glenn's image. Meta is passed in order to populate that unattended file. Okay, so now it's demo time. So here is the group, the group which contains all the secured hosts. This is okay, and it's Active Directory attestation mode, and the attestation group. If you can see, it's the group from that Active Directory. It's registered with that identifier. Here is a host, which is in that Active Directory and is considered secure. You can see it's guarded. It is registered to this host guardian service. These are the services which check the attestation if the host is secure or not. The key protection, I said before, in order to pass the keys. Okay. So now what I want to do, actually put a VM, a shielded VM. Let's see how it's done. It has to be generation 2, has to have secure boot enable. I already have the templates, which was created before. Switch. It's just an example, so. Okay, so we created a VM using that template. If we start now the VM, that template will be used and will be compromised, so it won't be able to be used in any way. It requires how it's protected template and self-assigned disk. It requires a VTPM. Just a second to pass. What we have to do, we created that PDK file. We have to extract the data commit in order to use all those settings. The VM, how it uses a secure template, will have to be provisioned with BTM and the data from the PTK. Here we pass here we have to pass the path to the PDK file. Probably missed yeah. I wanted to show how it's done. The most difficult part regarding this feature is to set up the environment. So I wanted to present the concepts here. In order to understand, because this is the most important thing. I showed how it's done also in OpenStack, but I thought it would be more important to get a grasp how it's done in Hyper-V and the behind the scenes. The protector will take the data from the PTK file, which basically represents the keys which will be with the disk will be encrypted. We have to pass that keys to the VM when it's created, and set the policy if it's shielded or encrypted. So this needs to be all the steps I took until now are required in order to add the VTTM. Because if it doesn't have a security profile being shielded or encrypted, it won't work. Okay. We have to do how I stated during Nova Boot. You have to specify the substitution strings, which will populate the unattended file. And initialize that VM with the It has secure boot tables, encrypted disks, and of course enabled shielding. So the same approach is done in OpenStack, how it's now implemented. You pass the PDK as a template, and it's the same approach. The unattended and everything, it's contained in the PDK file. So it's very important to understand how the setup is done, because if that PDK is not generated correctly, it won't work. Or maybe you create a VM, but you won't have access to it. So it's very important to be sure that you are taking the correct steps. You don't want to generate the shielded VM, encrypt it, and then to not be able to have access to your own virtual machine because you didn't generate correctly that PDK file. So, yeah, questions if you have.
On which host would you enable the create the PDK file in OpenStack?
The user has to take care of that. The user will provide the template and the PDK reference.
So on the compute node.
Yes. This is why I consider it essential to have a strong setup and understand the concepts, because I think it's a powerful feature, and it can bring a huge step in security. Any other questions? Okay.